the type of person that would jump face first into a situation, head first, just dive right in, be like, wee, boom. You don't do that. I mean, some people can handle stuff like that, but don't. Welcome to Deep Bites with Sony Blaze, where we take a deeper bites in subjects that was discussed on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and let's take a deep bite. Today on Deep Bites with Sony Blaze, we're talking about don't jump in head first into things. Right up next after these breaks on Deep Bites with Sony Blaze. What up? Welcome to my corner of the universe. If you want to sit there and advertise for Deep Talk with Sony Blaze and have your products or services be placed here, let us handle it for you. So doesn't matter if you're a small business, you're a big business, you got products, artworks, whatever it is, let SBC handle your workload, okay? Let us handle your workload. So go ahead and email us at sonyblazecorner.com and we'll get that to you as soon as you can. Peace. Welcome back to Deep Bites with Sony Blaze, where we have deeper bites on subjects that we discuss on Deep Bites with Sony Blaze. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome back to Deep Bites with Sony Blaze. Let's take a deep bite. So, let's get straight to it. Let's jump head first. But on the run now, that's the thing. I want to talk about this. Don't just jump into anything head first. Straight up. Don't do that. And I know from experience. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes if it's a moment that requires you to jump in head first, then I guess it's okay. But usually, I would say at least maybe 70%. I'm being generous with these numbers. It's probably more than 80 to 90, but we're gonna say 7% at the time. You shouldn't just jump in the head first into situations, things, or places. Now, the reason why I'm saying that for is because you may never know what's in the other side of that. Because a lot of times things may seem, okay to just go straight in until you find out that it wasn't. And you have to be careful with that. So don't just sit there and just jump into the situation just because you feel like you can actually just do it, and just because you feel like you're going to be able to survive whatever it is, because you may never know what's may be in the other side. Because let's give an example. Let's say a good example. Okay, I got a good example. Let's say you see a body of water. Let's say you go into an abandoned building. And you go into an abandoned building and you go down to the basement. And once you go down to the basement, you see the basement is flooded. And the thing is, the basement was abandoned for years. Now, the dumb thing you can do is just jump straight right in the water and just dive straight head first in there. Don't do that. Now, the reason why it's a bad idea to just jump into there, straight up into a basement full of water that's been, abandoned for for a very long time, is because that's still water. I believe that's I think that's what's the correct term for that, still water. So mainly what that is basically is water that been sitting at an area for a very long time, and once it sit there for a very long time, what's going to happen is a lot of bacteria, a lot of amoebas, a lot of algae will sit there and grow within the water. And while this grows within the water, there's going to be some pathogens that is not good for humans being, especially stuff that for instance, there'd be some brain eating pathogens, and once you jump in, guess what, you expose yourself into some of those pathogens and stuff like that, and there's a good chance that you're going to die. So that's like pretty much an extreme example, but that's why you shouldn't just jump into just situation, places, or thing head first, because you may never know by jumping in head first it will actually cost you your life. Now, after all that saying, use the experience of your life and what you learn before you jump into any situations at all. So I'm pretty sure if you're watching this right now, you have probably deal with a lot of stuff that wasn't so great and whatsoever, and you learn from the experience. And if you since you learn from the experience, you probably learn that some situation that you shouldn't just write out and do, and you should sit there and take your time with that. And that's what you should do. You should perceive with caution whenever you see a situation like that, instead of just jumping into anything head first. Use the experience that you have from your past to you sit there and to go into a new situation with not calmness, with caution. To sit there and take your time instead of just jumping head first and just jumping into water that you may never know that may kill you. Using it as a metaphor. So take your time with that. And if it feels like it's a bad move, make another choice. Just make another choice. You don't have to sit there and just do that same move. Like, if it feels like it's going to be a bad move, do something just make another choice. You don't have to sit there and just take it. I mean, guess what? You're a conscious being. That's mean you have the ability to make a choice. You have the ability to make a different choice. So if you feel like if that situation is going to give you harm, make a different choice. Do a different choice. And where is my phone? My phone's about to start blaring soon. Make a different choice. But anyways, that's about it for this episode of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Anyways, that's about it, and we're gonna hit there and just see you later because my phone about to start blaring soon. Anyways, thank you for joining me in my corner, viewers. Peace.